Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV Derezzed. This is Neon. This is Clownfish TV. Yes, this is live. I'm actually live. I thought I would start doing live streams over here again. We were actually doing them on the gaming channel for a while. And the weird thing about YouTube is like you start doing news videos on YouTube and it like wrecks your channel if you're not doing news content. So if you're doing video game streams over there, right, which is what we're doing, and then we start doing news over there, it's like, oh yeah, we only like news videos. So if you're gonna do gameplay, it's just, we're not gonna show it to people, which kind of sucked. But how you all doing here? I haven't done this in a while on the main channel. Let's see here. We got people coming in. That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, it's been a while since we've done I've done a couple of live streams over here, but we used to do live streams all the time on Clownfish TV, Geeky and I. And she's going to be back. We're going to be doing more streams over here, I think. Have to talk to her, coordinate a schedule. But yeah, we used to do them all the time. And then we just stopped doing them. And then we got out of the habit of doing them. And we had a lot of people request that we do them over here. I've actually been doing the gaming stream or news streams video, news stream videos rather, over on the gaming channel for like 2 years now. So Geeky's she's on Twitter all the time. People are like, you know, where's Geeky at? She's on Twitter, right? So let's see here. First Clownfish Live. Yeah, well, it's the first one we've done over here, and like I swear to God, it's been a year plus, I think, since we've done one over here. And we, like I said, we used to do them like at least once a week. We just got out of the habit of doing it, and I just started doing all the live streams over on the gaming channel. And that's fine, except I wanted to talk more about gaming news and tech news. And like I said, it just kind of messed with the algorithm over there. So we would do gameplay videos, and YouTube would be like, oh, yeah, hey, we don't want to show this to people because they're just here for the news. So I'm like, okay, fine. we'll just move it over to the main channel, whatever. So we don't really have a set schedule. I'm trying. I'm thinking like Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or yes. It depends on when we have time. Part of the reason we don't do a lot of live streams over here is because we have other businesses, and that's why we don't go on a lot of other shows either, because we have other businesses that we got to run, and that always comes first. So YouTube is kind of like, you know, just kind of, we have to work YouTube in and around everything else that we're doing right now. This is like the highest compliment anybody could pay me. Thank you very much. Armand Customs. Those remind me of Nicolas Cage when you talk. Both from California, I think. That's that's what the thing is. Yeah. Wait, last time you had a live stream, weren't you AI, says Ito Chan. Yeah, I died. I died a long time ago, and this is just robot me. So we got some news. We're going to talk about the big news, which is the Pac-Man donuts. No, I thought this was pretty cool. So what do we talk about Derez? Derez is basically, I try not to get too rage baity over here. We talk game news, tech news, paranormal news, anything that I think is interesting that doesn't really fit under a normal Clownfish TV video. And it's usually little chunks of news rather than like a big story. But we do have some kind of big stories, right? It's same old, you know, same crap, different day. Oh, thank you, Grizzly Nightmare. You do not have to do that. Have you been in Pittsburgh during Anthrocon? No. But I have friends that have, and I heard it's quite the party. I have not been there. Thank you very much. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. All right. Yeah, I heard that Anthrocon's pretty wild in Pittsburgh. I'll have to go. I don't mind furries too much. I really don't. I think they're usually a lot of fun. We used to do a lot of anime conventions back in the day, and some of our best customers were furries. So they got money, man. Furries got a lot of money. A lot of these guys, they buy a lot of stuff. They do commissions and all that jazz. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Oh, first I got to do sponsored by. Do a live stream from. I should. We did PowerCon. That was like one of the last streams we did. We did PowerCon, and yes, we can see you. We can see you, Fuchs. We did PowerCon, and then I got swarmed with a bunch of spam comments. I think people were mad that we were at PowerCon and they weren't. Whatever. So for those of you who are wondering why I have the delay on the chat, we've been getting a lot of spam bots lately. I don't know what's going on with that. I apologize. I even have an email into YouTube. I'm like, hey, why are we getting like 100 porn bots? Can I say that live on our channel before anybody's even had time to watch the video? And there's a bunch of them. So I've been trying to go through and like take them out. I don't know if it's like everybody's getting hit or if it's just us or what the deal is, but I'm like, I don't want them in the damn chat too. So anyway, all right. Yeah. Hey. Offline video games are just fun. Yeah, they are. I'm a huge fan of offline games, and I'm going to be a big advocate for that going forward, because we're going to talk a little bit about that with Nintendo. You don't own your console. They can like turn your console off remotely if they think you're modding your machine or emulating or whatever they don't like at Nintendo using third-party controllers they don't approve of. I think that's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So let's see what we got here. First, we got to give you guys a word from our sponsor, which is us. So check out Orcs Are A-Holes. We have this coming, I think sometime this week, we're going to launch this. We do a lot of enamel pins. I don't know if you guys saw the Shadow Binders pins that we did. They turned out really nice. They're thick too. They're like 2 inches. We're going to be doing some orcs. These orcs are all A-holes. They're a-hole orcs. They're doing rude things. And yeah, so that's gonna be launching hopefully this week. I think we're gonna do it this week. Got to get my ducks in a row with some of the assets, but we're gonna be doing pins and patches and stickers and that kind of stuff. Kind of working our way back into stuff, getting our ducks in a row for publishing. Got a lot of things we got to take care of, loose ends to tie up, and then we're gonna move forward. But if you're interested in the orc pin campaign, they're not coming from China, so we don't have to worry about that. It's badorcs.com. Badorcs.com. And also check out news.clownfishtv.com if you want to sign up for our newsletter. We have some rather bland pop culture news over there, in addition to roundups of all the videos we're doing stuff. But we do have the Minus podcast over there. Geeky's going to be doing some rants. We got a lot of other stuff going on. So trying to spread out a little bit, but check it out. This is very cool. They're going to be doing the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever in LA. I think that's pretty cool. It's very cool. What is up? What is up, Massive Panda? Thank you. Did not have to do that, Slayer Master PWI. I've watched you guys for a long time, but I don't really engage in the comments. Here's a little tip for my lack of engagement on videos. That's okay. It's okay. You don't have to. I don't comment on videos very much either. I comment on videos and I get in trouble. People are like, Clownfish TV said, seriously, like I think I've left like 2 or 3 comments on videos in the last 6 months, and I swear to God, like half those people made videos about me leaving comments, even if they were very innocuous comments or I was just joking. They're just like, damn, people are just so pissy. People are so pissy. Are the pins girthy? I don't know. They're actually pretty heavy. They're nice pins. But yeah, the next batch not coming from China. So we got some samples and they're very nice, and I think they're coming from Utah. That's where they're coming from, the pin mines of Utah. Keith in Comics. Hey Keith. Geeky is yeah, I am geeky. I am. I really am. I'm not just like grifting, like I'm actually in all this shit. You guys should see all the stuff I got. I'm a huge nerd. We're huge nerds here. We actually are into this stuff. We collect this stuff. Yeah. So anyway, man, this got a little more complicated than I thought. I guess this is a typical live stream, right? People spend like 10 minutes talking about nothing. So check those things out. So let's get into this. I want to talk about this first because I thought it was fun. Yeah, Krispy Kreme's gonna do Pac-Man donuts. Do you guys like Krispy Kreme? I think they're kind of greasy. Geeky had one this morning. McDonald's has them now. I don't know where you get these. I guess you have to go to Krispy Kreme. I guess you have to go to Krispy Kreme to get them. So yeah, they have a new partnership. It's a U.S. exclusive. It's going to be at participating Krispy Kreme shops for a limited time starting on May 12th, per the press release. So we got, I think that's supposed to be Pac-Man. Pac-Man Party Donut. Team Ghost donut, and strawberry power berry donut. Yeah, that's not very exciting stuff. I think it's pretty fun though. I love Pac-Man. I think people are like, they like the iconography of Pac-Man more than actually playing Pac-Man though, because they get really frustrated with the game. But Miss Pac-Man is way better. By the way, we have a Miss Pac-Man machine right over there. It's pretty cool. Okay, so what else we got going on here? Oh, hey, yeah, check this out. This is me sending notes to myself. The first trailer for Ironheart's dropping tomorrow. We'll probably wind up doing a video on that. And there it is. You know, it's got another Disney Plus show that like nobody's gonna watch. Saw some Pac-Man donuts at Publix. Maybe, I know that they have different deals. But like around here, we have Sheets. I don't know if you guys, if you're not from the Pittsburgh area, if you're not from Pennsylvania, we have Sheets, which they're like the biggest convenience store chain in the, at least on this side of the state. We got like there's like a line down the middle of the state. We've got like Sheets on one side, and we got Wawa's on the other. And I'm a Sheets guy, but Sheets has Krispy Kreme donuts too. They did have Krispy Kreme donuts. Now they have them at McDonald's. And I guess it's making the rounds now too. I thought it was actually pretty funny. Everybody's sharing the Red Lobster commercial from like the 1980s, and you can get a whole meal for like $3.99 at Red Lobster. That's insane. Little portable Pac-Man machine that was in red lights with black back. I got a couple of those. Actually, the channel, if you go back and check, like when we first started doing this before the Culture Wars, the dark times, before the Culture Wars, we basically would review this stuff. That's what we did. And I'd like to get back to doing more of that. It's more fun. It's a lot more fun than just talking about like who hates who today. I'm trying to keep track of it. Wawa is the superior convenience store. It might be. Their sandwiches might be better. Sheets, I feel like Sheets has fallen off. And they're very expensive now. I remember you could get a Sheets sub for like $2, and now they're like $6 or $7. Surprised the Ironheart figures haven't already hit Ollie's. Did they make Ironheart figures? Does anybody want Ironheart figures? I don't know. All right, so that's that. Like, that's not even worth a video. I think after the trailer comes out, they'll be like, here's all the hot takes from all the YouTubers about how the Ironheart trailer looks like a trailer with Ironheart in it, and it probably won't get watched very much. All right, so let's talk about The Last of Us. So this is crazy. So there's a lot of backlash, as I understand it, from people that were not familiar with the show. So they're watching it and they're like, wow, what the hell is going on here? Spoiler alert. You know, what they did to Joel. And then we got the whole romance angle in the I'm a dad, or I'm going to be a dad line, all that jazz, right? Like it's so normies are noticing that the show is kind of fallen off. And it's actually weirdly, it's worse than the game from what I've seen of it. I'm like, damn, like that's like, you really went at, I honest to God thought they would maybe use the opportunity to improve it a little bit, right? And no, they didn't. They're just like, nah, we're just gonna make dad jokes and, you know, whatever. But yeah, so now apparently Forbes is accusing people of review bombing it. But I'm like, the majority of the audience for the show, as far as I can tell, are normies that just watch HBO shows. So they're just like, yeah, this is not cool. Gave up on the show. Let's see what we got here. They deleted Pedro Pascal. Yeah, he's got every other thing to be in right now. He doesn't have time for this. Yeah. So anyway, let's see what this is. This is Tom's guide. They're saying The Last of Us 2 is one of the best video games ever made, but season 2 of the HBO show is getting it all wrong, guys. It's getting it wrong. It has me increasingly disappointed. Oh my God, Tom's guide, you're alt-right. This guy says, I love The Last of Us Part 2. I loved it in June 2020. So the game, when I played it for the first time at launch, I loved it more when I replayed it in 2021. I guess you do you, boo, whatever. And returning to its harrowing world via The Last of Us Part 2 remastered and remastered and remastered, because they're going to sell these damn games until the end of time. I don't know. Really enjoyed The Last of Us on HBO and named the first season, which covered the events of the first game, the best video game adaptation ever. I should also adore The Last of Us Season 2, considering it's adapting what I believe to be a stronger source material. That is highly debatable. And yet, 4 episodes into the show, I'm becoming increasingly frustrated. It's not that The Last of Us Season 2 is bad, per se. In isolation, it's prestige television as most prestigious. But as somebody who holds a game series close to their heart, I'm becoming ever more annoyed at the sheer number of changes. Oh, you can't make anybody happy. You can't make anybody happy. It's exactly how I thought you looked. Yeah, I look just like the Avatar. It's really weird. It's amazing how that works, right? I didn't want to lie. I didn't want to lie to people and be like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so they're not happy because it's not like the game. It's too far. I understand it's an adaptation for an entirely different medium. Some things will be different as they were in season 1, but the fundamental issue this time around is almost none of the changes, and some are substantial or serving to tell the story in a more interesting or more engaging way. Instead, they're taking a story I love and making it worse. So this is coming from somebody who actually liked The Last of Us Part 2, saying the show is worse. And you've got normies who were like, we're watching it for Pedro Pascal, and spoiler, you know, he's out of the way. So yeah, I don't think it's being review bombed. I think the audience is actually giving their opinion. I think they're saying, hey, I don't like this. About going off script. They have the dad joke moment in here. That was pretty bad. It's only getting worse. How faithful is too faithful? Oh my God, here we go. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's talk about this. See, I get bored. Sometimes people are like, why don't you cover this thing or that thing that everybody else is talking about? And I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I look at it and I just get bored. I'm just like, I don't even want to get into this because it's just boring as hell. Right? So anyway, Forbes, prestigious mainstream media outlet Forbes, is accusing people of review bombing the show. I think some people just don't like it. Are we going to be on Friday Night Tights soon? I don't know. I went on like 6 years ago. I think I went on once. I know Gary pretty well. I don't know. We couldn't go on for the longest time because, again, one of our businesses that we have, I needed to be available Friday nights, and yeah, so I couldn't go. I don't know. I'll have to talk about it. Maybe sometime. Maybe. Anyway, Last of Us review bombing surpasses the game's review bombing. It's now heading in. So who is this? This is Paul Tassi. Here we go, Paul. Sometimes I like Paul Tassi, and sometimes I really don't. I don't think he has a very good take on things. But Last of Us Season 2 is heading into the final half of its rather short 7-episode season. Things have been somewhat different this time around. First season was praised for embodying the game well, outside of a few critiques, and critics and fans essentially agreed on its quality. A 96% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. Okay, Season 2, something changed. As it stands, Season 2 has a nearly matched 95% critical score to Season 1, while the audience score has dropped a full 45%. Wow. Compared to Season 2, it's now down to 42%. This is ironically something that mirrors what happened with the game, which received sky-high critical scores, contrasted with a 5.8 out of 10 user score. Well, everybody I know, for the most part, thought Part 2 was trash compared to the first game. But, yeah, whatever. Now the sinking of the show's second season is blown by even that low watermark. Wow. So everybody's going on about Bella Ramsey's Ellie. They're calling her Selly. They're calling her Selly on Reddit. Reddit doesn't even like the show. So that's how you know you've lost, when Reddit doesn't even like this show. And this show is for you. It's for you, and they don't like it. Joel's death. Oh, spoiler. It's an obvious one. A large number of players hated the early execution of Joel, a beloved character, the playable lead of the first game. Yeah, so, like, again, the show is for normie audiences, and they're going to come into this, and they're going to be like, what the hell why did you kill the lead character of the show off? Like 2 episodes into the series. Why is no one responding to me? I can see you. We can see you. I can see you. I can see you, Fuchs. Fuchs. I hope it's Fuchs. Because if it's the other word, I can't do that. But yeah, they said Abby's changes. I guess she wasn't manly enough. Physical size. Okay, yeah. So the show has abandoned Abby for the duration of the season. They should just do a spinoff with Abby. Just Abby's. It's just Abby's show, right? And if they're going to do that, similar to the game, the show just left her full story of mystery. I don't think this is the most well handled, and it's a key part of the story. Yeah, well, who cares? Who cares at this point? Other changes. That was a major one. Other complaints have cropped up about the issues. Tommy has been a focus, given the battle scene. Okay, yada yada. Oh God. Oh my God. Here we go. And yeah, I knew it. Oh, Paul, you don't disappoint. The anti-woke war. The anti-woke war, guys. There's no way around it. It's a factor. Exceptionally mean critiques about Ramsey's appearance. Hate based on the same-sex romance between Ellie and Dina, which bloomed in full last week. Well, the dialogue was pretty damn cringy. And more generally, covering entertainment for a living, I've simply seen this sort of thing escalate over the last 3 years since season 1 and wildly ramped up after the recent election. Is it? I'm going to tell you the truth. I think it's kind of dying off. I think it's kind of dying down. I mean, that's just my take on it. It doesn't seem like, I think anymore, I'm going to be honest, I think people are so used to being disappointed that they don't give a shit to even jump into it, right? The Snow White thing, that was like, I'll tell you what happened with Snow White. Snow White was the perfect storm because it was like the anti-woke people, and you had people that were disappointed in modern Disney, and they weren't necessarily culture warriors or whatever, but they were all kind of united because they're like, yeah, this movie's just a very bad idea. It was everything that modern Disney was doing wrong all in one place, and so everybody kind of united against it, right? I guess they dropped it in like 1,300 theaters this weekend, and it only made a couple $1,000 or something. Like, it was a disaster. What a disaster. So, let me see here. Positives, Dina, everybody loves her. Okay. I can agree that perhaps season 2 hasn't been as good as season 1. Is it an absolutely giant drop in quality? No. If you're a gamer, well, this is the thing. If you're a gamer, you live through something more or less identical. No, I think it's because they did adapt it, and they kept some of the things that were huge problems for gamers intact and made them worse. And even people that like the game don't like the changes that are being made. So now you've got the normie audience, the grandma who does your grandma watch The Last of Us? I don't know. People just watch HBO shows and they don't even care about the video games. They're going to watch this and be like, what the actual hell? What the actual hell is going on here? That's it. So yeah, I guess it's being quote unquote review bombing. Why is it review bombing when a vocal majority of people use what little power they have to push back against a piece of entertainment? That's review bombing. Now, I could see if somebody was like buying a bunch of bots or something, I could see that. But in this case, it's just people don't like it. People don't like it. On in the background. Who's on it? Am I on in the background? I appreciate that. I appreciate being your background noise. Guys, I do. The one female character looks like the boy from The Matrix who said, there is no spoon. Yeah. So there's that. And let's see, what was this? Phantom Pulse had it. They talked about Tassie claiming it was getting review bombed. I don't even think it's getting review bombed at all. I think it's just this is what people actually think of it. And what will be telling is the viewership. I don't know what the numbers are for it, but like if the viewership falls off a cliff, then people have just checked out. I don't think people are going to, are they doing a third season? Can they do a third season? They should just make it up. When does Snow White get memory hold by Disney like Willow? I think it already has been to some degree. I think they're just trying to claw back as much money as they can. Why the hell they bring it out for Mother's Day? Like, is your mom a bitch? Well, she's not as bad as this bitch. the Wicked Queen, right? So yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Clownfish TV is wholesome. Are we? I don't know. Like, it's so weird. Like, we got sucked into like all this culture war stuff, and I don't know. I just want to play video games and read comic books, and like, I just want everything to go back to normal. I wish things were normal again, but it's everything is so like abnormal now. Yeah, this is exactly it. This is what happened. The Normies checked out after they killed Joel. They're watching for Pedro Pascal, and they offed him in like the second episode. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I honest to God did not think they would go through with it. I thought they would, or they would save it for the end of the season. Like they would change it that way. They'd do something with them. Like, you have another chance at this. You guys can get it right this time. No, they just did it, but made it worse. Not even the fans of the games like it. So here we go. What's this one? Nearly 200 Overwatch developers at Blizzard form a new union, the Overwatch Game Makers Guild. Does anybody play Overwatch? Well, no, I can't say that. My son, his friends still play it. He's been playing it since like 2016, but like everybody's jumped ship for Marvel Rivals. Oh, the CWA. Love these people. The Communication Workers of America says Microsoft has already recognized the union. They said the Game Makers Guild is a wall-to-wall unit that includes game developers across all disciplines: design, production, engineering, art, sound, and quality assurance. It's just that game. It's just Overwatch. The Overwatch Union. 200 people. So Claire Obscure had 50 people work on it. 60 people. We're going to get there because that's kind of what I'm talking about. Here's the bloat. The announcement of the new union followed confirmation from a neutral arbitrator that an overwhelming majority of employees had either signed a union authorization card or indicated support for unionization online. Okay, Microsoft is recognized. So they're not going to have to fight for it. They said there's been a big push toward unionization in recent years. Microsoft has earned some credit for not actively opposing it. I'll tell you why they're pushing for unionization. It's very easy. And I've talked about this before. They're all losing their jobs. And they're basically trying to get that severance package, which, look, I don't blame them. I mean, I'm not a huge union fan. I've been very vocal about at least modern unions. I'm not talking about the unions that are, keeping kids from crawling around in the coal mines. I'm talking like, the Kickstarter union where it was like, we want the right to dictate what kind of stuff you can, put on our platform. And I think that's really dumb. I think that's overreaching, right? You're supposed to be here for better working conditions, not to tell your employers what they're going to produce. Your job is to help your employers produce whatever they want to produce. And if you don't like it, you can go work someplace else. Yeah, they're doing it because they know they're all getting laid off. And Overwatch, I don't think Overwatch is doing so hot right now. And again, Marvel Rivals definitely ate into its demographic, I guess. V Rising. Yeah, no, actually, we played it. We played V Rising on the gaming channel before anybody was playing it. We had the beta, and we kept joking we're calling it Vrizzing, but it was actually pretty fun. I need to go back and play it. It's gotten a lot better. It's kind of like No Man's Sky, where it's actually gotten better with age here in the last couple of years. Not my first time seeing it. No, I've been on a lot of streams. That's what's so weird. Everybody's like, oh my God, you're not on stream. I'm like, no, I've been on other people's streams. I've been on podcasts. Really, we use the avatars because it's laziness. I just don't feel like putting on pants. No, seriously, we don't hide. Everybody knows who we are, right? I mean, whatever. Not there's no false advertising here because I look just like the damn avatar. So there we go. Expedition 33, I had a core team of 32 people plus a dog. Yeah. It's very small team. We're going to talk about that because that is what's going to happen, I think, with the industry. Let's see. Are you looking forward to Judas from Ken Levine? I'm a little skeptical to see what he has in store after BioShock 1 Infinite. I don't know. We'll see. Not a lot catches my eye. I have to play Expedition 33 though. My son's playing it right now. Squid King, he's playing it. He said, he's like, it's the best Final Fantasy game you've never played. He's like, Dad, you have got to play this game. I'm like, yeah, I know. I gotta play it. I gotta find some time to play it. But he's like, it's freaking amazing, and he doesn't like he's a game snob. He doesn't really throw praise around very often, but he's just like keeps going on and on about how good Expedition 33 is. So I definitely have to check that out. A lot of times I'm so fed up with modern gaming that if given the choice, I'm like, yeah, I'll just go back and play like Final Fantasy X again or something. You know, it's like I don't need to play a lot of these new games. But I am a massive retro game collector. It is amazing. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I've heard it's basically Western Final Fantasy, but good. Because they've tried that before. Actually, no, I can't really say that because Final Fantasy 16 was basically Western Final Fantasy, wasn't it? He said it was definitely a lot better than Final Fantasy 16. Let's see, Liz, fellow PA are here. I know it's far from you. Would you ever do cons in Harrisburg or Hershey? We actually don't do cons anymore. We did, and then I think the pandemic kind of broke us of that habit, and a lot of them now are just kind of, I'll be honest, they're either in a decimated state or the people running the cons are very political, and if you don't fall in line with their politics, you don't get invited. Or even worse, they flat out blacklist you and then they post about you on social media. But we haven't even had any desire to set up as vendors. I mean, one of these days we might. It's just like I said, we have other stuff going on too, and it's kind of hard for us to get out to a lot of cons. We used to do cons pretty much every weekend. I mean, we had con season. We were like, it was like a freaking carny. I mean, for years, yeah, we did comics full time. I did comics full time for a while, and to do that, you basically had to schlep it to like every convention that you could go to, and it was just like, man, this is crazy. It's exhausting, and I really felt like we missed a lot of our kids growing up because when I'd be spending time, normally I'd be spending time with them on the weekends. Now it's like go work the work you had to do throughout the week, and then on the weekends you'd have to go to these conventions, and you can't get that back. So I don't know. We'll see. Hey, John Dolores is here. Hello. I am a man. I don't know if I'm the man, but thank you for that. Let's see here. Massive Pan, is Geeky not interested in the comic book related videos because she's exhausted from all the BS she had to deal with during the webcomic days? Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. We don't go into a whole lot of detail about some of the behind the scenes drama. I mean, I think we've kind of, opened up a little bit about some of the stuff that happened, but all the drama that's gone on in the comic book industry, all the signs were there for years. Like anybody that's actually worked in comics, if you've worked in comics within the last 15, 20 years, you've seen it. That's how we stepped in it, because we're like, yeah, I can vouch that this kind of stuff's going on because we've seen it with our own eyes. And, we had a lot of heartbreak, a lot of drama, a lot of people knifing us in the back. And as far as the mainstream industry now, she just doesn't care about it too much. But yeah, we had a lot of drama. It wasn't just webcomics. It was mainstream publishing. And we talked about that. We did a whole video about it. We the whole thing. We were we had a New York agent. We had, and we just were not the right kind of people. And you can make of that what you will, but that's basically what it came down to, is we were not the right. It didn't matter what our numbers were. It didn't matter who vouched for us at that time, which would have been about 2012, 2013. We were not the right kind of people to get a publishing deal. And so that's a whole thing. There's a whole video out there about that, and it's so we know how things work. Kiki's my spirit animal. Yeah, she'll be on. She's probably not gonna be doing the derezed show, I don't think, but we'll be doing regular Clownfish TV live streams too. So what was again here? It's nice to just have a channel that shared news from a perspective of non-hyperpartisan normal people. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's what's so sad about this, is even if you're normal, I always considered us, probably me more than Geeky, but I always consider myself more of a moderate liberal. And I think I've been very honest about that since, the beginning of the channel. But it doesn't matter if you step out of line at all, you get canceled, right? You could be 95% on board with something, and that 5% difference was enough to get you kicked out of the club. Just absolutely insane. And then we started to see everything kind of go more and more in the direction of, to be honest, like socialist Marxist stuff. And it was just weird. It was just it's very weird. I don't know if there's some course correction going on now, because it feels like a lot of these companies are scrambling, trying to like, okay, let's make comics that actually sell again, or let's make games that sell again. But I think they just have so many people that are embedded into this scene that like is gonna be very hard. This is what, okay, so that actually brings me to this, and I talked about this. I don't know if you guys saw it, the Claire Obscure Expedition 33 video I did, and I talked about the team size, and I talked about all the layoffs in the video game industry. And I'm going to tell you what I think is actually going on. Partially, I think some of the layoffs are happening because, you know, they're going broke. The companies are going broke. I think some of the layoffs are happening in a lot of these companies to get rid of activists. I honest to God think this is going on, because they've been kind of running things for 5 or 8 years at least, and they're like, yeah, we have got to get rid of these people. Like, they are, and what they'll do is they'll just be like, oh, hey, yeah, that game didn't sell very well, that book didn't sell well, I guess we're gonna have to cancel it. No, yeah, we'll call you if we have work for you again someday, sometime. And that's why I'll kind of tying it into the union at Overwatch. That's why I think they're trying to unionize. I think they're trying to unionize because they know that a lot of them are going to probably get tossed overboard here at some point in the future. I just a feeling. The MAGA has converted you. No, I don't think. We're still the same people. I mean, look, we've been through some more crap over the last couple of years, but like, I'm still not. I mean, look, if I had a choice between getting political and not getting political, I'm going to take not getting political. That's just me. Yeah, maybe it's me being naive, but I'd rather just kind of avoid a lot of that shit and just kind of, you know, watch my movies and play my games and, you know, play with my toys. It's a grown ass man, you know, whatever. As you can see, this is nothing. This is like 5% of my collection, I think. Thank you very much. I didn't have to do that. Is it Flaka Chufarian 64 Fort Line? I've been working on opening for my YouTube channel. Oh, cool. Yeah, do that. You just gotta start. Like, I think everybody thinks that you have to be perfect when you start doing anything, whether it's YouTube or comics. And really, you just have to start. You gotta start somewhere. And people are like, they're so like, I gotta be perfect. I gotta look like Mr. Beast or whatever. I'm sorry. It's like, nah, just do it. You know, if people like you, they'll like you. And if they don't, well, then they won't, I guess. That's about it. So what's this? This is a IGN. Okay, as a move to $80 video games kicks in, gamers point to Mafia: The Old Country. Not played that one. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 and hope the $50 trend succeeds. Well, when you don't have freaking 600 people working on a game, it's a lot easier to keep the budgets down, so you don't have to charge $80 for the game. Mafia: The Old Country was in managing expectations mode this week, announcing a cheaper than expected $49.99 price point and confirming that it's absolutely not an open world game, rather a linear narrative driven game. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So it says it's gonna be relatively short though, 5 to 15 hours, no multiplayer. Okay, well, you know, what are you gonna do? There's some complaints in the reaction across the internet, mostly from those who are hoping for a Mafia game more along the lines of GTA than an Uncharted style game, but the old country is never going to be that sort of game. And they basically said that, yeah, they're just trying to keep the prices down, right? Let's see here. They said there seems to be a growing call for more of these cheaper. Okay, we're in a time now where $50 for a game is a cheaper video game. See, when I think cheap games, cheap indie games, I'm thinking like $15, $20. Okay, yeah, it's not out yet. Yeah, the RoboCop. Yeah, nobody talks about the RoboCop game. I think they had a sequel to, or some DLC for that too. Nobody's talking about that. This is what I think, and this is where I want to go with it. This is what I think the future looks like, because you're gonna have your Nintendos, and they're gonna have their $89 to $90 games, and people are gonna pay that. You know, for a Zelda or a Mario or whatever, they're gonna pay that. But I think in between those releases, you're going to have a lot of these kinds of games. And I think more and more people are going to go to PC. And I think you should go to PC, especially with Nintendo being absolutely insane. And I did a video on that. Let's see, where do I have the... you basically don't own your console, right? And we talked about that. And I can't find... I had a video... well, don't worry about it. I covered it yesterday. And you don't own your console. If you mod it, they can brick it. And they're being very kind of open, like, as to how or why they're gonna, do that. Or so if you have, if you do any emulation or whatever, I think they're gonna probably break your system, and they'll say you violated the terms of service. And I'm like, that's some horseshit. So you spend $450 on this glorified iPad, and if you break the rules according to Nintendo, and it's very easy to break Nintendo's rules now because they're absolutely ridiculous, they will brick your system. So you don't actually own it. You're basically leasing it, and you don't steal drinks, fizzy lifting drinks from the Wonka factory, or Mario's gonna shut you off. It's so stupid. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders are live according to Games Radar. Stock is still available this week. There's still stock. So how are they doing with this thing? I don't know. People are not happy about the prices. They're not happy about Nintendo. And you can't say anything about it. Like, I did that video yesterday, and I had all these Nintendo people just like jump in the comments, and it's like, how dare you? You're lying about the games. They're not $90. They're only $80. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. That's about $40 too much. Either way you slice it, right? Blind Nerd says, after all the shit, I'm done with Nintendo for good. Personally, I will not be buying any of their products moving forward. Sonic all the way. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's what scares me about Nintendo and that Pal World lawsuit, is that they can basically use that now to justify shutting any game down. Like, oh, Mario collects coins and moves from left to right, and so does Sonic, and we did it first, so we have a patent on it, and you can't make Sonic games anymore. Some crazy shit. And they'd do it. They would do it. Or just buy Sega out. That's probably going to happen. Let's see here. Get a mini PC for $500. Yeah. If you mostly play 5 to 10-year-old games, indie games. I did a review on the channel. It was probably 8 months ago. We got a mini PC, and it was about $500 system, $500 or $600 system. It was a good little unit, and we were playing everything up through. I mean, I didn't play it on the channel, obviously, but we're playing, through like PS3 era, PS4 era games, no problems. And that's my favorite era of gaming anyway. So, it's like, I don't need the new stuff. I'm good. There are more games and comics and anime, whatever, so much entertainment out there. You don't even need to buy anything new. And that's why I think they're starting to learn. And especially now, you've got these Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids that are trying to, get into retro gaming, and they want malls back. And I think it's awesome. I think it's really, really cool, but they're going to be in big trouble because these kids are going to pick an N64 over, their new AAA stuff, right? That's not good for business. So now you're going to have to charge more. You're going to have to charge more. You're going to have to lock them into a monthly subscription to keep the money flowing in, right? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Okay, so what else we got? I'm like, I know I'm meandering here, guys. I haven't done live streams in a while, so bear with me. All right, so, this is coming from, World Socialist Website.org. Let's get this turned off here. There we go. Okay, World Socialist Website.org. Massive price increases, layoffs in the video game industry as trade war escalates. Well, apparently it's being resolved pretty damn quick. But yeah, they're talking about how all the prices are going up. Yeah, the Xbox is going up $299 to $379. Series X, $599, $100. They're not going to bring the prices down. I said this yesterday. What they're going to do is they're going to use the tariffs as an excuse to raise the prices, and then even if it gets fixed, they're not going to drop the prices. We saw this during the pandemic. We saw this during Hurricane Katrina. They raised the gas prices. They said, hey, Yeah, it's going to hurt now. You're going to pain at the pump, but eventually, the gas prices will come back down again after the hurricane. They never came back down. They went down maybe 50 cents. Before the hurricane, if I remember correctly, gas was about $1.75 a gallon where we lived. Went up to about $5 a gallon and then dropped down to like $4.50. So it was between $4 and $4.50. So it never went back down to $1.75. So that's what they're going to do. That is 100% what they're going to do. And then they're going to be like, oh, guys, because of the cost of development and yeah, because, everybody's union now, we got to charge $90 for digital downloads. I don't know. I'm not that excited about Switch 2. I'm not telling people not to buy it. Disaster capitalism, is that what we call it? Is that the official? That might actually be the official term. I like that. Disaster capitalism, yeah. Your pain is our profit, right? I mean, look at the pharmaceutical companies, watch toy companies. Yeah, well, this is going to be another excuse for Hasbro, I think, to nope out, because Hasbro does not want to make toys. They made it very clear they don't want to make toys. I got the Omega Prime HasLab. I got to open that. I was actually going to open it. I don't think I'm going to open it on the channel. I might actually do it on the website. news.clownfishtv.com, news.clownfishtv.com. But I got to open that. I've been itching to open it. People said they were having problems with the torso or something, though. Yeah, they're not going to lower the prices. So what else we got here? So this, okay, I don't understand what's going on with this. So, look, since we're kind of living in our own little bubble, I don't really pay much attention to inter-YouTuber drama. But apparently, was it Kershey got into it, or they tried to get them canceled because of wrong politics or something. And now Waypoint, which somehow still exists. I don't understand it because it was its own website and they got absorbed into Vice. But they're standing with a person that apparently is trying to get Kershey. Is it Kershey or Kershey? Canceled. That's I don't know. People are like Kershey. Yeah. So I'm vaguely aware, if I remember correctly, this is the person, because we covered it before, that said, again, if I remember correctly, we cover a lot of stuff and I'm old. So they were talking about how Bridge, I think, would be the new incarnation of DEI. Is that the person I'm thinking of? Is that what I think that's the person I'm thinking of. So anyway, they're trying to get him canceled. So Vice does an article on it. Let's see. So this is this the journalist that tried to get him taken out? Anna Valens willingly threw herself into the fires of humanity's worst to shine a light on how rotten certain sections of the internet are. Can someone fill me in why he's trying to explain? Yeah, so about a year or two ago, there was a VTuber who talked about how DEI wasn't going to get gone. It was going to turn into something else called Bridge, and they apparently had some details on that. And I think we covered it. We did a video on it, I'm pretty sure. Now, I don't know them personally, but apparently they're being attacked by journalists now because wrongthink or something. I don't know. I mean, it's a day that ends in Y, right? So apparently the person attacking Kershaw is getting attacked for that. Anna's struggle must be shown in its totality. What the? Okay, this just sounds overly dramatic. Okay, so for necessary context, read Anna's piece on the harrowing and continuing harassment she's been facing. I've heard this before from gaming journos. She's much better at properly articulating the full scope of everything she's going through, but I'll sum it up. Anna's being attacked for simply asking questions about certain areas of the VTubing community in which she's an active part of. What began as asking about VLR's stances on trans creators working for them spiraled into a full-blown hate campaign once Anna started questioning why prominent VTuber Kershaw was being promoted and represented by gamer subs, following many, many worrying red flags. Worrying red flags. Tweets I don't like. That's what that means. Tweets I don't like. Okay. Since then, Anna's been receiving vitriol from nearly every corner of the internet. God. Okay, so it's just yet another female gaming journalist dishing it out and not being able to take it. Just my armchair opinion. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that? Because that seems to be an ongoing issue. Okay, Great White, thank you. Did not have to do that. Side Scrollers did a segment on Crochet Day as well. Anna Valens is a trans woman with sick fantasies of grape. Oh, we don't like grape. Grape's not good. Wow. Someone got paid. Someone got paid to write that. Did they? Or they just like fire up Chat GPT? Anna's struggle must be shown in its totality. Oh my God. Okay. So here's the deal. As ongoing plight has reached critical mass, people advocating for Anna, anyone belonging to the LGBTQIA plus community as any other marginalized group, to endlessly suffer. Wait. People advocating for Anna, anyone belonging to the LGBTQIA plus communities and any other marginalized group to endlessly suffer? Question mark? What? That's only one part of a true. This doesn't. Who wrote this? I can't even read this. That's only one part of a truly disgusting equation. Beep boop bop. Why are clear, unambiguous bigots and racists allowed major platforms? Why are they given sponsorships and brand deals? Why is it them and not me? That's usually what it comes down. Look, I'm going to be honest. This is usually what it comes down to. Why is it them and not me? Why are they getting brand deals? Why do they have a larger following? Why do people like them and they don't like me? Usually. That's why the gaming journals were so ass mad about YouTubers for so long. Oh, God. This is the hard drive should be checked. Yeah, I don't know. Because we can bicker back and forth online all day, but at the end of the day, the likes of YouTube, Twitch, and every other notable space that allows this to thrive and fester, those are the ones who need to be forced to come out and say, yes, this is the kind of content we want and will subsist from going forward. Nobody talks like this in real life. Nobody talks like this in real life. For all y'all goofy racists and bigots, I don't have time to address you directly. Reason won't work with you. You're all lost causes. God. But I know that Anna and myself as a black man wants every notable platform from games journalism to the games industry and every other major media company. Own your stance. You will not be allowed to sit on the fence any longer. So let me get straight. You're going to walk into YouTube. You're going to walk into Google. And you're going to say, own your stance. Kick this bitch off the platform because I said so. That's not going to work, right? Either you reprimand, punish the bigotry, racism, or hatred, or you come out and admit that's exactly the audience and legacy you want. Or there is a possibility that maybe per their platform rules, they're not really violating any of those platform rules. And perhaps some people are just really hypersensitive. Just because you don't like a particular streamer or YouTuber doesn't mean they're actually breaking the rules, right? Oh my God. The time for games is over. Oh my God, this is so dramatic. Okay, so people always wonder when I do these videos and I read some of this stuff, like what is going through my mind, what my facial reaction is, and it's just like, my God. Okay, here we go. The time for games is over. Twiddling your thumbs and pretending it isn't there isn't sufficient. Sure, it's Anna today, but after the LGBTQIA plus issue has been dealt with among that crowd, it'll be the browns, then the blacks. Hey, what? Hate has a tendency to do that, become an ever-growing pit that'll never be satisfied. I'm sure to them this is like the most important thing they've ever written in their life, but this is so dramatic over a VTuber that they don't like. because they need an opponent. For many of them, hatred is their brand. It's all they have to make up for the fact that without it, they have nothing. There certainly isn't a personality worth being around underneath all that filth, after all. They're classic bullies, and they crave your engagement. So rather than engaging them personally, you engage the forces funding and feeding their nonsense. The ball's in everyone else's court now. Choose. What the fuck? Sorry. You could just say, I don't like this VTuber. I think she's says some mean things, and I don't think YouTube should platform her. But I don't own YouTube, so I can't. Actually, a lot of these platforms, especially Twitch, they will ban anybody for whatever reason. It doesn't even take a reason. They'll just ban you if they don't like you, except for Hassan. Hassan, for some reason, is like golden child. Like you can't do anything to that guy, right? God, it's so. This is like, okay, you want to know. Jesus. Okay. You want to know why nobody takes gaming journos seriously? It's because they take themselves too seriously. I remember it used to be about video games. You used to talk about video games. Pick up EGM, and they would say, hey, this game's pretty good, or hey, this game's not very good, or hey, here are the graphics on the new 16-bit system. That's how old I am. I remember when 16-bit systems were new. And now it's like, it's all hyper political. It's like, it's weird because for all this talk of like everybody that watches YouTubers supposedly being a bunch of like extreme right-wing, bigot, hateful, supremacist people, golly gee, we have a lot of folks that watch us that aren't straight, white, and male. Like a lot of folks that watch us that aren't straight, white, and male, and we welcome everybody. I'm cool with you. Like, I don't have a problem. I literally don't have a problem with anybody. I have a problem with assholes. I mean, that's what we always say. We have a problem with assholes. Yeah, if you're, I don't have any problem with you as long as you're not an asshole. That's literally it. God, this is crazy. Back in my day, we had bits. Yeah, I remember bits. Wow. Here's the, I can't get into it. I can't be bothered with the drama anymore. It's just so ridiculous. Like the gaming journo thing is going to resolve itself very quickly. I have a video coming tonight. I didn't post it yesterday. I recorded it yesterday. Talking about Giant Bomb. I don't know if you guys heard. Giant Bomb is going independent again. They bought the site back from the corporate owner that they had, which was Fandom. And now they're going to, I guess, paywall some of the site. But it's the original founders, and they're coming back. And I know some people don't like some of the people for whatever. I can't keep track of who doesn't like who. I'm going to be honest. I can't keep track of who doesn't like who online. But Jeff Grubb is one of the guys on there, and they're going to be bringing it back. I think that's actually a cool thing, because then you're going to see who actually has an audience. It's whoever actually supports you. If you go out there and you put your site out there and it's paywalled, nobody's subscribing to your site, then it's probably a you problem, right? It's probably, you can't blame YouTube or Twitch or what, you know what I'm saying? If you have your own business, your own lemonade stand, nobody wants your damn lemonade. That's a you problem. And you can't blame that. So actually, I think that's the way we need to go. Is just be like, fine. Let's see how this works. We'll level the playing field, and you run your site, and if people support you, then the market decides. And if they don't support you, then apparently you just suck and people don't like you. I don't know. I don't know. This is wild. Yeah, I don't really know Kirsch very much. I know we talked once, I think, about the bridge stuff. Only 158 viewers. Nah, it's more than that, I think. Depends on which platform we're on. I don't even know how many people are watching on whatever. I think we got a couple hundred on YouTube. I don't know. I didn't announce this stream. I just kind of dropped it. So, let's see what else we got going on here. Usually, I run about an hour on these, and then I turn it into a podcast episode, and then we cut some of the gaming clips out. Like I said, we're just moving it over to the main channel from the gaming channel, just because it makes more sense. This is, okay, so here's some more drama, too. This is, Ori and the Blind Forest studio head says they could be forced to shut down due to the impact of negative Steam reviews for No Rest for the Wicked. So is this getting review bombed too? Is that a whole thing? I am here. I'm glad you're here. Hi. Quit serving orange juice. Skill issue. Yeah, pretty much. That's what it is. All right. So Ori and the Blind. Let's see what's going on with this. I've heard about this. I'm not. You guys might have to tell me what's actually going on. So Ori and the Blind Forest studio head says they could be forced to shut down due to the impact of negative Steam reviews for No Rest for the Wicked. Okay. Dark action RPG No Rest for the Wicked has infinite promise, but its early access dev cycle seems to be an uphill battle for Moon Studios. Didn't Moon Studios get in trouble before because he was talking about how he hired people based on skill and not diversity or something like that? It's no secret that Microsoft's Xbox One generation was a bit of a dud, blah, 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 blah. Okay, they're talking about Ori. Do we get to the... Okay. Ori's incredible art. So, wait. Okay, so this is about the Steam reviews, but we're 5 paragraphs into it. We're still talking about Ori. Okay, No Rest for the Wicked has incredible potential. Drawing upon games like Diablo and Soulsborne and Souls-like titles, No Rest for the Wicked continues Moon Studios' tradition for top-shelf atmospheric art and gameplay. However, the game is being developed in early access, which hasn't always been plain sailing. Right now, No Rest for the Wicked sits on mixed reviews on Steam, with users complaining about various aspects of the game's design. Okay, so the negative comments generally seem to revolve around quality of life features and more clarity. So this is about him getting canceled over politics. This is the game itself. While others lament the game's slant toward grinding materials, Moon Studios founder and lead Thomas Mahler recently commented on the impact the review cycle is having on game sales and issued a warning about what might happen to the studio if things don't improve. Okay, we'll see what's going on here. First, I'll get Dr. Evil. Thank you. Ever thought about going on side scrollers? Asked not Dr. Evil. I thought it was not so Dr. Evil. It's Nurse Evil. Ever thought about going on side scrollers? Y'all have been awesome family. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Actually, I was on side scrollers once or twice, and I do talk to Craig off and on behind the scenes. Yeah. So maybe one of these days we'll get on. He actually invited me, and I think I was gonna go on. He has a game show or something that he does, and I couldn't make it because, again, our schedule is like all over the place. I can't really commit to like a set streaming schedule because we do so much stuff. It's crazy. We just don't talk about it, but we do. So people want me to go on side scrollers. Okay. Yeah, it's out there. It's God, it's probably been a year. I think a year, and I know I did a segment for their Game Awards. But it's been probably about a year. Anyway, here's the guy. This is what he said. I think people think I'm joking when I'm asking for positive reviews because in people's minds, there's always some big publisher in the background who will cover costs. He said, folks, if you're writing here and enjoying Wicked and are excited for future updates but haven't left a positive review, it's entirely possible that we won't be around in a couple months to do anything anymore simply because we got review bombed, which leads to people not buying the game, which means we're not making any money and we'll have to shut down. That sucks. I wouldn't ask if our business wouldn't be dependent on it. I also never write reviews on anything, but if you want to see us actually finish the game, it's detrimental. It's detrimental that we get the review score back up. He wanted to further suggest the negative Steam reviews can kill studios, knowing that if No Rest for the Wicked doesn't perform better soon, that the studio only has a few months left in the oven. He commented on the review bombing endured by Path of Exile 2 in early access as players opt to leave negative reviews as a means of feedback. I guess that's one of the problems with early access is that the game's not quite done yet and people are going to leave reviews on a game that's half-baked. I downloaded one a couple of months ago and it was a brand new game. It was a racing game. It actually looked pretty cool. And they actually sent me the code for it to play it on the channel to review it. And it wouldn't start. It bricked the computer every time I tried to play it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to leave you a negative review, but I'm definitely not playing this game on stream. I can't. I literally cannot play this game on stream. Yeah, begging for reviews. I don't know what's going on. I know he had some drama before. They were trying to cancel him because he said about DEI and people got all pissed. Okay, here's an update. Mueller has since claimed on Twitter that the company is in no immediate financial danger, despite telling supporters of No Rest for the Wicked that was entirely possible. We won't be around in a couple months due to review bombing on May 10th, 2025. He alleged his comments were designed to push back against negative reviews that were apparently politically motivated. Okay, so it was politically motivated. Okay. All right. Because I kind of wondered about that, because I know he was pushing back against the DEI stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this now. Okay. Jogged my memory. He said, I've been hated on Twitter by a few crazies for years now, and I also saw the calls for review bombing because, according to these folks, I'm a Nazi. These days, apparently, anyone who doesn't include 5 trans characters in their game and doesn't let their products be influenced by political bullshit is a Nazi. What a world we live in. Welcome to the club, dude. When the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, and I replied on Twitter saying that Moon Studios isn't going to take a public stance, why would you? You're a video game company making video games, unless you're in the Ukraine. I'm just saying, because we're a video game company, not a journalistic outlet. The next day, a threat letter with a picture of Putin was taped on my office door full of insults from top to bottom. So I have no issue telling active players who love Wicked that they should go ahead and leave a positive review on Steam. After all, it's allowed on Steam to buy a game, leave a negative review that doesn't even talk about the game at all. There are negative Wicked reviews that literally just say period, and then instantly refund it, and the negative review still counts. Well, that's not right. All right. We are continuing as always. Our goal for every game Moon Studios creates is to be an absolute masterpiece, and with Wicked, we're already on the way. Okay, so that's cool. They're a 90-person company. They want to push back against Blizzard, GGG, and others to innovate. And that's what's going to happen. We're going to have smaller companies like this, but if they get tanked because of politics, it's not going to go that well. It is a blessing and a curse, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Everything's crazy now, right? Everything's crazy. Warner Brothers, we'll cover this, and I think I'll wrap it up because we're running a little long. Like I said, I usually run about an hour, but I had to explain what the live stream actually was for people who have never watched the D-Res before. Warner Brothers Games revenue drops 48% in Q1 2025. Decline attributed to no new releases during the quarter, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League not meeting expectations. Warner has published its financial results for the 3 months ending on March 31st, 2025, reporting a 48% decrease in games revenue during the first quarter. Yeah, the firm does not provide detailed figures for its games revenue, though it attributed to the decline of Suicide Squad. Again, Suicide Squad basically killed Warner Brothers games. They did note that Hogwarts Legacy and Mortal Kombat 1 continue to accumulate revenue, which I'm surprised. Nobody talks about Mortal Kombat 1. I played it for a total of an hour maybe, and I got bored. You're still on. I'm super late. No, we're still on. We're still on. We don't do 5-hour live streams here, guys, so just so you know. Minecraft movie made a ton of money. Did they count that toward Warner Brothers games? That's kind of a weird thing. Said revenue for Warner Brothers overall, Q1 totaled $9 billion, 9% decrease year on year. Following its 2024 results posted this February, Warner Brothers addressed its restructuring program, which saw the closure of Monolith. Yeah, that was wild. Player First Games, Warner Brothers San Diego. The company described 2024 as a disappointing year for its game segment and said its restructuring plan was put in place to refocus its resources on capital, improving IP, and games from world-class studios. Basically, more sequels, reboots, remakes, remasters, etc., etc., etc. Hey, thank you, Great White. Did not have to do that. Thanks, Neon. I appreciate you and Geeky a ton. Well, thank you very much. I hope I got everybody. I am not the live stream master. I am not very good at this. There's some people like, this is all they do is just live streams. I'm like, I like talking to you guys, though. I really do. We're focusing our games business around 4 tentpole franchises. So it's going to be Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC. But they canceled Wonder Woman, so go figure. Go figure. Heard the new Fatal Fury is awesome. Yeah, it looked pretty good. So I think, did I go through everything? We got Pac-Man? Yeah, we got the Pac-Man donuts. I was most excited about that. Of all the stuff I talked about, I was like, I really want to talk about the Pac-Man donuts. I like the Pac-Man donuts. I think that's pretty cool. Pac-Man donuts. All right. I'd rather talk about Pac-Man donuts than interpersonal drama. I guess the Pac-Man donuts are fun. All right, guys. So I am going to wrap this up. This has been the first derezzed game news stream over on Clownfish TV. So I'll have to make sure everybody over on gaming knows we're going to move things over here. Again, check out Orcs or A-Holes. It's badorcs.com, badorcs.com, and also our newsletter, news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Thanks, guys, for watching. You've been great. It's been a lot of fun. We'll do it again.